If you
Hi, this is John Solari, the host of the Method Actors Speaks. And today we have a very special guest, a lifetime member of the Actors Studio. And Chris, I would like you to pronounce your name so we don't get it wrong.
Christopher Pennock.
Great. Now, Chris and I go back a while. Yeah. No,
Sometimes I say Pennock.
Pennock. See,
But
that's
I think Pennock
Pennock.
is better.
Pennock.
I mean, I just turned 70 and I still don't know how to pronounce
I'm
my
older than
name.
you are. I was 3 years old when you were born.
Are you kidding?
I am older than you, so you have to be.
You look great.
I'm the boss.
Okay.
You are the boss.
I'm older
John.
than him too. I'm older than him too. I just love being older than the guys. I just love it.
And where is
I
she?
love
There
it that
she is
you
over
are
there.
older. It's a comforting feeling that I'm well taken care of for the next hour.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the studio and everything. And but before we get into that, what is really popular today is the vampires.
Yeah.
And you were one of the originals on
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah, and you know what? I never was a vampire.
No, but
I was bitten by Barnabas Collins, and I remember I was doing Dark Shadows, and I was taking the subway back, and I had kept my vampire bites on my neck just to fool around. So I'm sitting in the subway, and I'm rocking back and forth, and I've got my vampire bites and the blood streaming, and I'm just sitting there, and there's some folks over there. And I'm just, it was so cool. But you know, I have yet to be a vampire. I would make a fine vampire if there are any people out there before this crazy thing is totally passé. Let's get Pennock a vampire part, because I'd be good.
because that's such a popular thing now. And that show, they just did a movie remake, right?
We did the Johnny Depp version. I wasn't in it. Four of us got to be flown over and were extras.
Oh,
But
really?
you know what? It didn't work, and I'll tell you why. Because they didn't take it seriously. They sort of made fun of it, and you can't do that.
No.
That, you know, we were popular because it was like playing Greek tragedy. We took it very seriously. It was life and death, like Marty Landau says. Our acting was totally, absolutely committed. We believed in everything we did, and it was great. But then you start making fun of it and can't
Yeah.
it up.
Commenting on everything you do.
Yeah,
It's just no
yeah,
fun.
Yeah, so they blew it.
Now, were you a member of the studio then when you were doing...
No, that was 69, 70, 71. I wish I had been.
What was
No,
the
I
name
didn't
of
even
that
know
film?
Lee Strasberg yet.
What was the name of it?
Dark
Dark Shadows.
Oh yeah.
So-
Okay. You're
Now,
And you know what? I'm glad I got that part. I was supposed to be the keeper of the antique shop or something, and then Dan Curtis, the producer,
I
dreamer.
worked with him.
Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last ride at the Dalton Gang.
Yeah.
His kid died of an overdose or something like that.
I know.
Poor
All right.
guy.
I know. No, he went through it. He went through it.
Oh,
I was trying to get up for that. That was his one Western.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which role were you going for? Were you going for Bob Dalton?
I broke into the auditions because I couldn't even get my agent to get me up for it. And this was after I'd done Dark Shadows. I'm not bitter. And I walked in, and I sort of got past the gate, and I said, Dan, I'm here. And I gained 50 pounds or something because I quit smoking. So I didn't look quite as good as I did on Dark Shadows.
Oh.
I'm this blimp. And I think that's why I didn't get the Dalton gang.
Yeah.
Where was I
Worked
going with
together.
this?
We
what I was
worked
asking you
together.
when you
Dan,
remember
yeah,
this,
right. How? Yeah,
and I was going to ask you now, what made you want to go to the Actors Studio?
I always did. Brando, Dean, everybody else, Marilyn Monroe. I wanted to be a part of it. It was always my goal. And I think once, you know, I always had self-doubts about my acting, and I thought if I can get in the studio, I'm a lifetime member, I will never doubt my talent again. It doesn't
And
quite
it is
work
true
that way,
that-
does it? I mean,
well,
it sort of does, but
Yeah, it's got to.
But I mean, when
Because
you were
those-
doing that,
You know, to get in there is hard.
to get in is really hard, but you got to keep growing too. You got to keep growing and keep
Well,
working.
you do
and
that.
Keep growing just by
You-
living. Just
Yeah,
by living.
exactly.
Your
The more you
life,
live,
with a
the-
family, with a marriage, with life.
Yeah.
If you're
Do you
How
remember
else
that?
could you
sober
play? How
and,
else
you know-
could you really play a father or a real
Yeah.
husband
Yeah.
or all that? The living really, you know.
Exactly. Thank you.
Well, Chris, do you remember the first audition you did there?
Yeah. Oh, it was cool. It was called P.S. Your Cat is Dead.
Oh, right.
And it was New Year's Eve, and I'd just been robbed. My cat's dead. I've got this burglar, and I've got him tied up, and it's almost like an S&M scene. And it was so good. They let us go on for 20 minutes. We started improvising. They never said, okay. They just kept watching, because we were cooking.
Who were you with? Who did you do
I forgot his
it?
name, Tony somebody. Not Tony Musanti, but
No.
Tony somebody or other. I never saw him again.
Okay.
But it was an incredible audition. 20 minutes, they never stopped us.
That's unbelievable, because after 5, they...
Yeah. So when I came back, I was at the Guthrie Theater, and I flew back for my final. And I had a bottle of champagne, and I was really going to drink the champagne during the audition, the real stuff. And that's what fucked it up.
Oh.
Because Strasberg saw, yeah, he's drinking. He's drinking.
Yeah.
He's drinking. No.
And
Yeah,
it's
so
true.
I got a final observership, and then I came back. And
Now, that's funny
the
that...
Seahorse.
The Seahorse, yes.
With Pamela Guest.
Ah.
What scene did you do?
The Seahorse, and this guy, he's in love with this big lady, you know, she's a bartender, and he's in love with her, and she's sort of running away from him, and it was a crazy scene because she sabotaged it that night. She was just messing up all over the place. You know, she had a fear of success. And so after the audition, I remember I went out and had this big Actors Studio sign, and I kicked it. I just went bam, and I kicked it because I knew we had fucking blown it. And there was a smudge on the Actors Studio sign for the next 10 years. That was my boot print. But anyway, I got in that night. I got in. I did get in.
Even
though
though
it was totally
up.
sabotage. I got in. He saw something. You know, I
Oh,
got in.
how wonderful. You
And
never know when you're good.
You don't,
You know,
yeah.
you really never know.
Because I was in the moment
You never
dealing with
know.
her shit. I was in the moment. You know, going from moment to moment to moment to moment. And I could do that. That's my best thing, is going to accidents.
Yeah, me too.
Crazy,
Me too.
yeah.
I just live for them.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a
I fell off the
I'm a reactress.
Me too.
And
I
you're
fell
a
off the
reactor.
stage in the
Rather
Guthrie playing Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. I used it, and I crawled back on. I love that stuff.
Oh.
Most people hate accidents. They freeze. So you like
Yeah,
it too.
we're like,
That's what I like about film.
oh
If they
yeah.
get it. Hope there was
Oh,
film
yeah.
in the camera. Yeah.
They have film in the camera. Who were some of your peers then at the studio that you remember?
Yeah, Will Hare,
Oh, yeah.
Teddy Harris, Fox Harris,
Fox Harris.
Fred Forrest. What's her name that I did Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf with? Sage Allen. Sage Allen.
Sage Allen.
Yeah. Hetty Sontag, who I did my first Broadway show with.
What show was that?
A Patriot for Me with Max Schell.
Oh.
Salome Jens.
And Salome
Oh
Jane.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Actually, it was my second. I understudied Chris Walken in The Rose Tattoo with Maureen Stapleton. That was
Oh,
like right after acting school.
oh, that's great.
And I was so cocky.
What was
in
that
those
like
days. I was like,
doing-
who's this guy,
yeah.
Chris Walken? Is he a dancer? I mean, what is this guy?
Yeah, he was a
Oh,
dancer.
He's good. He's good. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I'm good. I mean, what? And I understudied it, and I watched it.
That's better. I understudied Joey Heatherton. Oh God.
So there's Chris Walken, and I'm
Oh.
watching this guy work, and it is joy. It is so inspiring. It's before he became mannered. He was just a
and phony
pure,
and baloney and
pure
everything.
actor.
Yeah.
Pure,
Really?
moment to moment beauty, and
Oh,
he looked
boy.
incredible, and he was innocent and sweet, and
Yeah, he had us when he was young. He did look like an angel.
yeah, look at him in The Deer Hunter, you know. I mean, yeah, and then became crazy.
The Deer Hunter. That's the one that my friend that I did a soap opera wrote. Quinn Rediker.
Yeah,
I was trying to remember the name of it. I couldn't remember it, and here you said it.
yeah,
That's great.
In fact, now I want to talk a little bit. You just did The Dresser,
yes.
which I so happened to see what's really got developed
saw
at
it,
the
yeah.
studio. How
That
did
was
you
my
go?
obsession, man. I
Really,
that was-
that's what I would like to know about.
It was
How
a
you went to
total
work on that.
obsession. It was one of those roles. I think maybe it happens a couple of times in your life that just seizes you. You know, you have to do this role or you will die. I had to do Sir in The Dresser. I dreamed about it. You know, it
Now
became an
that's the two
obsession.
actors.
Yeah.
Describe
Yes,
the
that's
scene.
the one.
Describe the
Well,
thing. You know, because the
Okay.
audience doesn't
The audience
know.
will know in a minute.
Oh,
The
sorry.
Dresser
I'm sorry.
was a movie with Tom Courtenay, Albert
Right,
Finney. It's
Albert
about a
Finney.
Shakespearean actor based on Sir Donald Wolfett, who was doing King Lear. During World War II, they were bombing England. They would still go on and do the show, and people would show up, and they would fill the theaters every night. He was his Shakespearean troupe. It just went on. It never quit. So there he is. He's doing King Lear. He's just had a total breakdown. I have frequent breakdowns, so I thought, perfect. I can just walk on stage and be myself. No matter how I'm feeling, no matter what's happened in my life, I can just walk on stage and whatever's going on, it's me. And so I united with this character. I mean, I'd be driving around Berkeley, you know, seeing my daughter, and I'd get lost, and I'd start sobbing, and I'd become Sir, because he was always getting lost and sobbing, you know. I would dream about him at night. I just became him for 2 years, and it took everything I had. I couldn't act after that. I couldn't do anything for about a year.
Wow.
But it was my obsession. I had to do that part. I don't know if I succeeded. I think I did.
You
Must
did
have.
more than succeed. And it was curiously now, it was all with studio people, but how did you cast the other people?
I just sort of cast it almost as a whim. Well, I knew Chris Jordan.
Chris
'cause
Jordan.
I'd done Lone Star with him and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, and I love this guy. I love this guy's
Yeah.
talent. He's a little genius, and I knew him. And then I got Cecilia Specht because she had a good British accent. I got Lynn Marta because she had a good British accent. And then the two guys, you know, Mark Cervania. And I don't know. I mean, I loved everybody in the show. And we went through hell, and we had to wait 2 years to get it produced. You know, at the studio, they don't make it easy.
No, they don't.
You gotta go through all this and all that and get approval, and they finally did it for me. And you know, thank you. You know,
It was.
yay, Marty Landau.
Yeah, he was really
He
behind it.
championed me. You know?
Yeah. But what was it like? Like you said, it drained you, and you couldn't act for a year.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
I didn't want to. I mean, I probably could have. I mean, I did a movie right afterwards, but you
What
know,
movie did you do?
it was the thing with Ansel.
Oh, Ansel.
Yeah, it's called Dr. Mabuse 2, Etienne Pomar.
What's that
It's
about?
like a German expressionist movie, you know. He did,
Ooh.
what's his name? Fritz Lang did the original Dr. Mabuse. So this is Ansel Hollingsworth, who's a 21-year-old director,
Oh.
shoots in his garage in a green screen, and is a genius.
I
He
love
gets
it.
things done.
I love
This is
it.
his 5th movie.
Does he like do the camera himself
He does
and run
everything,
around
yeah,
and
and he's
tell
got a
you-
little
oh,
crew, and he runs around.
I just
and-
love that.
But he's an obsessed genius.
I love it.
I love
I
obsessed
love it.
people.
I
And
do
he will
too.
go to war to get you in your movie, and you know he's going to use you. And
Oh, good. I gotta hear about this. I
Yeah.
have to hear that. I'm so excited. This
Yeah.
is so wonderful.
yeah, I'm doing another one, the Madness of Roderick Usher, based on Edgar Allan Poe's Fall of the House of Usher. I'm going to do that Monday and Tuesday. Gotta learn my lines, which is I learned the lines for The Dresser. I cannot learn the lines for Neil Simon's Prisoner of Second Avenue.
Really? Why do you think
What's
that
going
is?
on? I think my brain cells have gone. I did a lot of LSD in the 60s and 70s.
I did too.
Yes. And
It's like
let's have a flashback.
it's the insects running around on
2,000
the floor.
micrograms of white lightning. I did a movie called Savages, and these people probably don't want me telling on them, but I will anyway.
Oh, do it.
Savages, James Ivory, Ismail Merchant, their first American movie. Salome, Jen, Sam Waterston, Susan Blakely, everybody's in it, you know, all the best stage actors. And we're savages, and then we become civilized, and then we go back to being savages again, all in 24 hours. That was 71. Everybody was doing LSD, they were smoking dope, they were doing hash, they were doing something with formaldehyde, I forget, angel dust.
Angel, oh
And we
my
were smoking
God, that
angel
is
dust. They had to shut down
scary.
shooting. They had to shut down shooting.
People jumped off the garages thinking they could fly on Angel's dust.
we couldn't stand up, so they had to shut down shooting. I mean, yeah.
So can I get that on Netflix?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Savages?
Savages.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
bet.
get that one.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, we did that right after the Dark Shadows movies. We did 2 Dark Shadows movies for MGM. And then there were Savages, and I thought, okay, and I played a man-woman. I was a Siamese twin. My other half was Kathleen Widows, and we were joined at the pelvis.
Oh my God.
And at the climax, we split apart, but we forgot who we were, so I became a woman. And she became
A man.
A man.
Oh,
And she
God.
became this entertainer, this sort of cabaret dancer performer who was a man. I became Hester, the librarian,
Oh.
an aristocratic librarian. I had my dress and everything. That's who I became.
Oh.
I ever wanted to shoot my genitalia to make sure that everybody knew that I was really a guy. And I remember thinking, no, no, my genitalia will remain a secret.
Well, this is just genitalia. Let's shoot yours.
So I never showed my genitalia on film. I still haven't. Why did I bring that up?
Listen, you never know what they're going to ask you to do next. You think you get to a certain age and it's over, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's worse.
All the old people were naked as savages too.
Oh.
With little loincloths. I mean, Margaret Brewster, Neil Fitzgerald, they were in their 70s.
Salome was naked in there?
Salome was naked, yeah.
The body.
Susan Blakely.
Salome Jones.
Oh, I
Back then
gotta
she was
get
known as
that
the body.
film.
It's incredible. I
Oh,
love the
I've
film.
gotta
Most people
get
hate it.
that
They think,
film.
what the fuck is this movie? This makes no sense. But
Oh, I
it's
want to
a
see
great
that.
movie.
Savages, I
It
can-
seems that you enjoy movies that push over the edge. As an actor, you like to go to the edge.
Yeah.
You're not comfortable where it's normal.
I can't do normal.
Yeah, I get that from
I
you
just
all the
can't. I
time.
can't do normal. I think
You're not
that'd be
normal.
very boring, and I'm not normal. No, I've been
You're not. You're
in
like
therapy
a-
since I was 13. I mean, I've had a crazy, crazy emotional life. Thank God I found acting.
Yeah, you fit
Thank
right in.
God. Thank God.
And you
Because-
submerge yourself in these roles. I mean,
Yeah.
you go in so far you can't get
yeah.
out.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to. Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
It's your sort of
You
your
do.
sacrifice, your gift, and if you don't do it, your gift eats you alive. That's why so
Yeah.
many of us, become
Yeah.
addicted to drugs and everything.
Drugs.
I mean, I got sober
Suicide.
25 years ago. That was good, getting sober. I wasn't a terrible drunk, but I got sober, and that was a good thing.
Yeah, well, drinking is
I'm
like so
trying, that's
bad
about
for
the
you,
time I
know?
met you. I guess we know each other about 20,
Yeah.
25 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
25 years.
Well, 1985, I came to the studio.
Okay. That was
And when did you-
77, I think I got in.
77 and
Yeah.
you were 85?
85.
And you knew Salome really well.
Yes.
They were lovers. No?
That's great. Congratulations.
I mean, I would be so proud of that if I were a guy. She's so gorgeous.
yeah.
The body,
Still
they
is.
Such a
call that.
beautiful
Still is.
actress.
Yeah, still is.
You know.
Yeah, I did date Salome Jens, yes. I was very fortunate. But she got rid of me. she did. She dumped me.
Oh. How did you deal
She's
with that?
my idol. She's my idol.
How did you deal with that when she dumped you? Did you just break your heart?
Well, of course, that's another story.
Okay.
But you worked with her recently. What was the play
I'm
you...
sure she breaks hearts.
No,
But
Salome
but
is
with
my
compassion,
idol.
with
Till this
compassion.
day, I mean, I idolize
I
that
don't think
woman.
she hates men. I don't think
No.
she hates has a destructive.
No, she was very
Many
kind.
relationships, you
In the
can be
breakup, she was very
destroyed.
kind. But
He has her really on a pedestal, and
Well, she
I
was there.
love her name, and I never saw her work. And then I looked her up, and I found a film, and I watched it, and she was just exquisite. She was just wonderful.
Yeah.
Did
I guess the film was made the same time Elmer Gantry came
Oh,
out, and
Seconds
it was like,
with Rock Hudson?
No, she's talking about when she played the Almagantry, the woman, sister. God, I forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
that was really destroyed because of Almagantry. The people in
they put their money behind whatever they think is
Right,
going to
yeah. But when you-
work, and then
okay.
the film will get dropped.
What was it
Nobody's
like
gonna
working
seize
with
it.
Salome?
Huh?
What was it like working with Salome?
Well, I did Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf with her.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
And she had done it before, so she was pretty familiar with it. This was another role that I had to play. George. I don't know, there's something about George and his rage and his relationship with Martha. And I had to do it, and and my belief that somewhere in this actor's body there's an intelligence, there's an intellectual, even though it was pretentious, but I felt I can do that and I can play that. So I played George, and it was up until then that was the best experience I ever had acting in my life. 3 hours of just guts on the floor and hysterical and wonderful words, and do it, you could do it. You could.
Oh yeah, she'd be great as Martha.
I want to audition. I really want to audition for the studio, but I never saw that movie.
Yeah.
I've never seen.
We were just as good. We were just as
But,
good. Maybe a little better. I don't know. She was phenomenal.
Well, I'm sure
when she
just
connects
worked off
emotionally.
each other.
What I wanted to
She
find out.
great.
Let me just get
When
back
she
to.
connects
Let me just get back to
emotionally, though, she forgets her
how the
lines.
working was. I want to know how you two worked together. How did you prepare for that role, both of you?
Yeah. Well, Alan Miller was directing it,
Right.
and he was the ringleader.
Who's coming on the show next month? He said when he comes
Oh, is
back.
he?
Him
Oh,
Yes.
cool.
too. That's wonderful.
He's got
Yeah.
great stories.
Oh,
he'll
yes.
He'll be amazing.
Yes.
He was part of the original Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf
Right.
on Broadway
Oh.
with Uta Hagen. He directed the understudy company because they couldn't handle doing it. I mean, nobody can. I mean, well,
It's
actually,
such a
it's a
exhausting
yeah.
sh-
It's an exhausting
show.
show. So, but actually, when they just did it with Kathleen Turner and that guy that won the Tony, they did both shows, matinees and evening. Amazing. But they cut a lot of the stuff, which is terrible. They shouldn't have cut the George and Honey scene. That's one of the most powerful scenes in drama.
They cut it for the evening show too, or just the mezzanine
They do
matinee.
both. Yeah, both shows. Yeah.
Oh, they cut.
But they cut this wonderful scene, George and Honey. You haven't seen it yet.
no.
Wow. Oh, it's amazing. You'd be incredible.
Yeah, she could do it. She has that.
I want to look at. I want to pick up Picnic
Mm-hmm.
for the Rosalind Russell role.
Mm-hmm.
I heard about that, and I want to pick up Sweet Birdie Youth. I want to pick up.
Yes.
She'd be good as princess.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
The princess.
Yeah.
What are the roles you want to do now?
I don't want to do King Lear.
No.
If anybody's asked me to do King Lear, smack me. If I say, oh, maybe
You
I
want to
would,
do another
hit me.
film with this brilliant
am.
young director.
I am.
It sounds like
Monday and
he's really
Tuesday.
exciting.
And then another one in March that I'm not supposed to talk about. So I can't. But another
Why
one in
don't
March.
they want you to talk about things?
He's always saying on his scripts, eyes only, eyes only. What does that mean? Eyes only.
Does it go on YouTube? Is it like a web series or is it? Like,
No, this is a film festival.
it's a real.
Yeah.
It's a whole big thing.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say? Is it a real film?
Well, he's so young. He's like 21 years old. I thought maybe it's a web
He
series.
didn't
or
even
he's
go to.
doing
He didn't
a-
even go to film school.
He's just.
Self-taught. Just
Oh my goodness!
burning with-
He's just.
genius. You're a
Just
genius,
there.
Ansel, if you're watching this tonight.
Yeah. Is he with the
on your little
studio?
TV. Huh?
Is he with the studio?
Ansel? No.
No.
Oh, could
You're
you
surprised
drag
that
him
he's
in?
not with the writers directors unit.
Yeah.
You know,
Except you have to write plays, and he just writes screenplays.
right? Yeah, that's
So
one of the-
what? You could put a screenplay on the stage.
Really?
Why
yeah.
not?
Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah.
I mean, you could make it into a play.
You asked me what I want to do.
Yes.
Last Tango in Paris, on stage,
Ah.
and I was going to do it with Magdalena. I think her name is, who's off to Australia with Angelina Jolie. Isn't her name Magdalena, the Italian actress?
I think it is.
We were going to do Last Tango in Paris, and I don't know. Something happened. But it's possible to do that. I want to do that.
On stage. That's
On
interesting.
stage, yeah. Actually on stage. Like put all these scenes together. Maybe start with a coffin scene where he's over his wife, he's over his wife and she's dead and he's sobbing. It's a beautiful scene, and then go from there into the relationship.
How do you just keep reading the script over and over and over, or how do you do?
Yeah,
how
over
do
and
you-
over and over. That's how I do it.
What
Exactly.
do you do?
Over and
What's
over
your
and over.
technique? How do you pick up a thing
Right
you've
now
never
I'm
read
doing
it before?
Prisoner of Second Avenue with Maggie Wagner. It's the funniest scene I've ever seen in my life, and it's probably 30 minutes, And I just go over the whole scene.
You
I
just
can't
keep
really break it
reading it
down. I just
over
until
and
it
over
finally
and over.
just
How do you memorize?
becomes like that, just over and over and over and over and over and over. How do you?
Well, I take in Topanga. I take a walk, and I have
Oh,
my thing,
moving.
and I move, and I move,
Yeah,
and
that
I sing, I sing, I yell.
The dresser.
I do
The
all kinds
dresser.
of crazy things.
I would do. I've got
I
this
just-
trail near where I live. And
Yeah.
it's a 5-mile trail. And if I do the entire trail, it's about an hour or an hour and a half. And I would do the dresser.
It's a
I
good
would
study.
I would start and do the whole thing as a monologue. And I'd be hiking, and somehow moving gets it into your mind. It gets it into your memory. You know,
Yeah.
moving does it.
Yeah.
Chris Jordan does it on a treadmill. You know, but yeah, and then another thing with the dresser, I would drive into LA. It takes me 2.5 hours. I would start as I'm leaving my house. I would end up at the actor's studio 2.5 hours later, and I would still be doing the part. That's
You'd
how
be
much I
like,
had
yeah.
to talk.
Do you sing it? Do you like?
Everything.
What are
Everything.
Tell me. I want
Everything.
to know.
I'll just do it the way I'm going to do it.
Tell me. I want to know.
I get locked into line readings, you know, and I fall in love with them, and then but I just do it, you know. However, it's, you know, yeah, I sing it. Yeah, Chris Walken makes dinners. He cooks and does it, you know.
That sounds like John.
Yeah.
You'd probably do that, right? Saying your legs as you prepare the chicken. You're like doing your lines.
Well, I do the walking a lot too, and I write all my lines down,
Yeah.
and then I just walk and I say them and go through them, and every time I miss a line, I start at the top.
Ah.
Ooh, that's kind
Wow.
of that's a harsh punishment.
Well, because,
That's like my meditation. There's a meditation where you do it on the breath,
yeah,
and you start counting each breath. And then if you have a thought, you have to start back over again.
right. It's
And,
but
you,
the
you
end.
put a Buddhist thing on your page. Your
Oh yeah, well
I noticed.
You know who
that.
got me into
John
that?
is
Was,
going to be a Buddhist.
well, Lilia Vitale. Remember
Maybe
her?
an anarchist.
Lilia Vitale got me into that.
Oh, okay, cool.
Who
Yeah, so
she does Anamagani. No, she's
Oh, yeah.
in Italy,
Yeah.
but she got me into that.
Yeah.
I don't follow it. I used to always tell her, because she wanted me to go to that's the guy with the
Oh,
big
yeah.
belly. Is that the one you're talking?
He's got a big belly because it keeps him grounded on Earth. Otherwise, he'd
Yeah.
just fly off.
I'm the
That's a Chinese weird sort of Buddha of good luck or something.
I'm also
the
the-
actual Buddha is actually very skinny.
but I do
long
believe
hair.
if I was going to go any religion, I would go there.
Good.
But I'm also the token conservative at the
I believe in a little bit
at the
of
studio.
everything. I really do. But
He made the mistake on
I was-
Facebook. Get this. He made the mistake on Facebook of saying, "I really like Sarah Palin."
Oh,
The attacks that
Yeah.
followed that. He never replied.
I
He
like her
just
too. She
disappeared
reminds
off
me of
Facebook
that
for
gal. She reminds me of that. She reminds me
I
of
do
some
like her.
All you
actor.
had to do was say, "I sort of like
That
Sarah."
Mariska Haggerty, she reminds me of her, and I keep thinking Sarah should watch that show and get one of her hairstyles.
But that's
Yeah.
that's an interesting subject. We got about a minute. Even the conservatives that I found at Active Studio and in the business, originally were lefties, I call them,
Uh-huh.
and they turned. So and I find
They
most
probably became successful
Yeah.
and made some money.
well,
They
but
want
not
to
only
hang on
that,
to it.
the most creative people I've
Greedy
met.
motherfuckers!
Right, the most creative people came from
That's okay.
your side, the
Yeah.
left side. They're the most creative.
Yeah.
The artists and everything,
Yeah.
this and that. And I, for one, though, I'm a conservative. I was always a conservative.
Well, the Democratic Party kind of turned into the Republican Party. I mean, it just sort of did a shift.
I don't want to get into
We're-
politics.
Why not? We're living in the world, you know.
We're not living in that world today.
Well, yeah, we might get blackballed.
Well, I don't mind getting.
If you say you're
John Voight
conservative,
keeps working.
or you
Yeah.
like the
Well,
But
Constitution.
that, see,
John
John
Voight
Voight was on
He
the
was
left.
a lefty. He was with Jane Fonda.
Right, he was all-
Washington.
yes.
What happened?
You know, he went the other side, and
What happened?
well,
Bobby Duvall.
Well, it's
I
like
saw
if
they
you're
saw the
enacting-
light.
If you're doing an acting exercise and you go, you go with one emotion all the way through, it changes into something else.
Yeah.
If you really get into something, it changes.
Yeah.
So
Well,
maybe he
folks,
got
we're
so
gonna go to-
into that
We're going to part
came out
2
the
now,
other
so I
side.
want to just say thank you, and we'll be right
You're welcome.
back.